Chris, this week in my Bubble Watch, we had a brand new team enter the fray. The Colorado Buffaloes. I can't believe it either. They're 4-1, undefeated in Big 12 play, sitting at the top of the standings, and they are 4-point underdogs to K-State, who we kind of raised our eyebrows at when they went out to BYU and got rocked. Now they will go back to the mountains, this time in Boulder at the foot of the Flatirons as a 4-point favorite. The over-under in that game is 56.5. Chris, are we buying on K-State, or do you think they go on the road and have another nightmare?
This line opened up, by the way, at I think 6 for Kansas State. So it has come toward Colorado.
Interesting.
Which I find interesting because Kansas State is number 2 in the country in rushing at 6.9 yards per carry. Nice. Colorado is 68th in rush defense yards per carry. So, where the reason I picked UCF over Colorado, or at least UCF to cover that game a couple weeks ago, is because UCF is not good in the trenches. They do not have a pass rush. Kansas State is good there, and that is why Kansas State is a favorite, but it's trending toward Colorado. I think I like Kansas State in this game. I think this is just the worst kind of matchup for Colorado, essentially, is a team like that. So I think Kansas State wins here.
Well, but I kind of thought it might be the same thing with UCF last week, and I was surprised. But I think part of this is Deion mentioned this on Tuesday. It's something I hadn't really thought about. Is they only have like 3 guys starting for their defense that started last year, and all those upgrades on the front. We've seen them play some pretty good rushing defenses and slow them down. And even though they're 68th in rush defense, I think some of that is just playing a bunch of run-heavy teams. And when they haven't given up a ton of chunk plays. They're allowing 1.35 yards before contact, which ranks 37th. That's pretty good. That's okay. And I think they can hold up here. And I'm very skeptical that Kansas State can hold up on the outside with these receivers. Shedeur has done an unbelievable job of extending plays, getting loose, and making plays downfield for these receivers on broken plays. I can't believe I'm saying this. I think Colorado wins this game outright. I think they cover. Colorado is just better than people think they are, and going on the road is tough. And Kansas State has failed their first try, so I like Colorado here. Dame, what do you got for us in this one?
I'm going Colorado too, and I think I was gonna say threw me for a loop. But I think Chris hit the nail right on the head. This is the worst matchup for Kansas State because when I look at this Kansas State team, they're very foundationally sound, fundamentally sound. They play with good technique, but there's just nothing exciting. The only excitement I really get from Kansas State is the excitement of what is Avery Johnson going to do? Is he going to make a big play or is he going to turn the ball over? You know what I mean? This isn't an exciting team offensively, defensively. Well, Colorado is the exact opposite. I mean, I'm not going to challenge their fundamentals, but they're not super physical. They don't have a great foundation, but they make all the explosive, and they just have game breakers that can just make something out of nothing. So I think that with the matchup the way it is, I lean more towards Colorado and these playmakers just making plays.
Dylan Edwards revenge game. Ubben, what do you think?
Somebody asked Deion about that this week, actually, and he said, "Hey, did they change their team name? Are we playing against the Kansas State Dylan Edwardses?" He coached Dylan back in Pee Wee football, and basically said, I hope Dylan has the best. He's like, I appreciate the guys that leave the program and don't snipe back at us. Some say snipe back at us. Some say speaking honestly about their experiences. But hey, tomato. So maybe a little bit there, but I think Dylan's being well paid, and I think he'll be okay either way. But he's been up or down at K-State, but he's definitely a guy that can break a game open. So we'll see.